like I was saying, whatever whatever needs to be, you know, said and done to keep the energy channels in your being as clear as possible, that is what we are prioritizing, because the more that you can have like that energy flow into your being, you're more open to be a conduit for that energy. So when you talk about people who are in tune with themselves, meaning they have a calibration within their being, the way that you recalibrate that energy is pretty much you just kind of move it all around. And if you feel like things are kind of stuck or stagnant within your being, then all you have to do, really, truly, not all you have to do, but one of the quickest ways to kind of like just, transmute that is to dance or to move or to kind of listen to what it is that you need. You may need to take a bath at that time, depending on if you need to balance your water essence. You may need to take a bath or drink some tea in case you need to get into that earthy, medicinal essence. And notice how some of these methods incorporate multiple of the elements. So you may also need to, do things like that, just depending on what's going on with you. If you want to know the full details, of course, I will have a course coming up soon, but as much as I need to tell you, just, much as possible, just make sure that you're kind of knowing what it is that you need. So things such as yoga, things such as dance, things such as, even if it's like shaking your hands, clapping, shaking your arms, stretching your legs. You just don't want anything to be still and stagnant within you, because even if it is for really good reasons, like a healthy, like there's kind of two different kinds, but mainly most people deal with one more than the other, or can at times struggle to balance out one particular type more than the other. But there can be the aspect of it where, there could be the aspect of it where like you have self-defined boundaries. And this is where it comes into like self-defined boundaries, and boundaries that we tend to absorb from our environments. So with those stiffeners, or I'm gonna come up with a better word for this, but I'm gonna just tell you how I'm saying it. Like really, if you feel that you are, let's say, participating, or like let's say you've gotten a little bit like slaggy on your routine, or you feel that maybe you picked up a little bit of too much in your water memory in your body, you may need some sound therapy. So these are things that like can cause stagnancy within your being, that can result from like external / indirect sources. But when you talk about the other kind, which isn't often talked about, and I can definitely relate to, how easy it is to kind of fall for this one, even if it's with good intent. But let's say that you are too confining or constricting with yourself, right? So let's say you can say, well, nothing outside of me is making me necessarily feel stagnant, but I don't really feel like I'm making any progress, and I feel kind of weighted, right? So let's say that it's something like that. Well, we can go into asking you, well, when have you danced today? Did you do your massages like you should? Are you using healthy products? What are you eating? All of these different indicators that contribute to that. And it's like, well, I'm on this type of this, this type of that. I'm on this type of diet. I'm on this type of lifestyle. I'm on this type of fast, right? It's just gonna, sometimes you can go too far with that, particularly with feminine beings, because to have these It's important to have some, kind of structure, of course, in your life, healthy structure in your life, but to be extremely structured to the point that, you feel like you're not growing, you're not really truly allowing the energy to flow within your being, then that actually does more harm than good. So, because it leaves you in a state of confusion, because then, you'll have to go through the healing process of healing from having to be so structured. And then you just go through this whole, I guess that's kind of like what is related to the ego death aspect, because the ego death aspect of it makes you have to overcome your limits and overcome the confinements of who exactly you defined yourself to be. Now, yes, you can define yourself to be really, really close to your true self, true energy, and that is ultimately the goal, because we don't want to completely dissolve into nothingness while we're here to fully experience, right? That just would be counterproductive. So there is a healthier way. It's pretty much what I'm saying. But I look forward to speaking more about this soon and coming up with some classes and whatnot, so we can actually just go ahead and talk about it more, girl. Whether it's some classes, whether it's just, come on, everybody pull up a chair and let's chat, whatever it needs to be. And y'all, one last message that I just kind of want to say is just make sure you know what it is that you know. And that should be ultimately you, so that you can easily distinguish what is you and what's not you, because everything, right, is ultimately related to you in some way, but it is also important to have that clarity. So as we talked about boundaries and definition, we understand why those things are important for clarity too. Okay? Girls, we got a lot to go through, honey, but it's definitely going to be worth it, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Peace.